What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast, and we're going to look at some videos right now, and with Ashish Burla and him talking about various aspects of the crypto space, and then we're going to see something Arthur Bruto posted that's going to make your head turn. But before we start, this is what it's all about. It's all about that level playing field. Listen to Ryan Zagone again talking about it because this is important. And I want to make sure I hammer this down to let you understand that there's coming a day of reckoning. And the markets will have to choose the asset that brings the utility, that brings the most use cases, that has fundamentals, that solves frictions in the payment system, which is what CBDCs are all about. They're not bringing CBDCs just to, make the current legacy system digital, because then they'll still have the same old problems. No, CBDCs are to integrate this new technology that's going to help bring efficient, scalable payments to the ecosystem, not take days, weeks to send, different payments. No. Here's Ryan Zagone.
Today, the policy certainty in the U.S. exists for Bitcoin and Ethereum, despite the fact those are China-controlled platforms. So activity goes to those platforms. What we need to do from a policy perspective in the U.S. is look at the places where there are uncertainty. And one place I'm speaking directly for me here is XRP, where it looks like Bitcoin. It's decentralized. It's open source. We have 7% of the validation power on that, rather small in there. Grouping or giving clarity to those ones that are very similar to Bitcoin and Ethereum, that have the same characteristics and should be classified the same way. And then we're creating a level playing field across all the cryptos. I'm not anti-Bitcoin or anti-Ethereum by any means. I think there's a lot of great potential and breakthrough there. But we need to have a level playing field so the market can pick which ones they want to use and not be, as today they are, hindered by regulatory uncertainty.
And there you have it. So the market will choose and won't be hindered by regulatory uncertainty. Here we have Ashish Burla talking about, Bitcoin in El Salvador and where Ripple and RippleNet are headed.
But is it a competitive? Does it put any pressure on your ability to do business in, say, El Salvador and other countries if they're adopting another platform such as Bitcoin to do remittances?
Absolutely not. I think that at the end of the day, cross-border, if El Salvador is accepting of cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, I think one, it's just the start. They'll start with Bitcoin and they'll move to other digital assets in the future. And then secondly, I think that they're going to need to exchange Bitcoin for other assets, whether it be other fiat currencies cross-border or other digital assets across the board. NFTs could be one of them. And again, we'll be there. We have the leading enterprise solutions. So as corporations and governments want to adopt cryptocurrencies more broadly, I think we're well positioned, and it's great. I think it's an absolute benefit that El Salvador is already moving forward with Bitcoin, and I think they will follow suit with a number of other blockchain technologies and other tokenized assets, and that is going to be great for where we're headed with Ripple and RippleNet.
Did you just hear that? So he said this is a great way for them to start, and they'll eventually move to other digital assets. And listen to the end again.
It's going to be great for where we're headed with Ripple and RippleNet.
It's going to be great for where we're headed with Ripple and RippleNet. Here, let me play this part here in the middle.
Other digital assets across the board. NFTs could be one of them. And again, we'll be there. We have the leading enterprise.
Listen closely to what he says.
And again, we'll be there. We have the leading enterprise solutions. So as corporations and governments want to adopt cryptocurrencies more broadly, I think we're well positioned, and it's great. I think
there you have it. We have the leading, basically, asset that helps solve and software that helps solve all these, transaction inefficiencies. And so he knows it, and you know it because you're on this channel and you're watching what's happening in real time. It's just a matter of getting this framework, this level playing field, and you'll see who the market chooses to be the winner without regulatory uncertainty. Here is another clip of him talking about this ecosystem.
Just to call it, it's kind of an amazing chart. You can see XRPs all the way on top there. This is a 2-2 chart, which is even more striking considering, that the uncertainty around the SEC. So yeah, I'm just curious what you would attribute this to.
I'll go back to, if I think anyone that's been in the space for a long time, and I've been building products for a long time, the thing that I focus on is delivering customer value. And if you're looking at the price day to day or even week to week, I think you're getting distracted. So I don't look at, price of XRP, of Bitcoin or Ethereum on a daily basis. I really look at the innovation that's happening in this space. And, if there continues to be strong innovation, I think adoption and liquidity will follow in the relevant cryptocurrencies and digital assets. But I think it's really easy to get distracted by the price. And again, if you're in it for the long term, this is a 20-year ecosystem that needs to be built. We're only 8 to 10 years in here, still really early innings from my perspective.
So he thinks that there's 10 years left until the full ecosystem has matured. And here's my question. Not that I'm agreeing or disagreeing with that statement he just said, but how long can we keep up this monetary and fiscal policy that the Fed and all central banks are using? Do we really think it could last 10 years with what they're doing? Because if you look throughout history, all of these nations that printed up their currency and went into debt and couldn't pay all the wars, all the expenses that they had, they crumbled rather quickly. So my question is, how long do we actually have? Is it 10 years? Do we actually have 10 years? I don't know. It's a question. And I want you to think about that. Could it be in the next 5 years? I don't know. It's something we gotta monitor. But I tell you, I think it could be a lot sooner than that when all this comes into fruition. Now that's my opinion. And that's why I have this channel, to talk about my opinions and what I think. Now here we have Arthur Brito. Mad Dog posted this. And whether it's Arthur Brito or not, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to go ahead and present it because I thought it was very interesting. Now we have here, this is to, let's see, okay. So he says the purpose of having XRP in the network as an asset is twofold. First, it helps bridge between different currencies, and second, it's used for very small transaction fees that help prevent people from spamming the network. Okay, now I'm presenting this. If it is Arthur Brito, this is very interesting. I thought I'd show it to you guys. So here we have, he keeps saying, right, so let's split the requirement of XRP into two parts. A bridge currency and a network attack prevention mechanism. This email concerns the second item, which is as a network attack prevention mechanism. The most concerning downside about XRP that I can see is that there are a finite number of them, 100 billion. Probability that Ripple will last more than 30 years as a financial network is slim. Not having done the math, but I'd imagine that 3 billion transactions per year is being conservative. The transaction volume that will happen over the network if it becomes popular. I do realize that many of these transactions may be rolled into one to, let's see here, maybe rolled into one to support pseudo-anonymous transactions. But if Ripple is successful, maybe many could not choose to roll a transaction into one and may eat to the XRP space at an accelerated pace. The transaction fee is set by network consensus and can be lowered. There should be enough XRP to last for thousands of years. The greatest loss of XRP happens due to lost funds, so lost passwords. And here, a new account mechanism that should allow the ledger to efficiently serve humanity's scale usage is in development. This would allow everyone to have an account on the ledger for low cost, while providing the necessary performance for humanity level service. I expect most users of XRP will use hosted accounts for their day-to-day needs, holding small amounts of XRP, placing orders, and making payments. While ledger accounts would likely only be used by gateways, wallet operators, those that require cold wallets, and those that have sufficient operational needs to justify acting on the ledger directly. Okay, I believe Ripple will eventually support bonds and bond markets. So that's a handful, and I find that very interesting, to be honest. And if this is actually from Arthur Brittle, these are interesting statements. I hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe, comment below. What are your thoughts? As always, I like hearing from you. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.